Have you ever walked away from someone and felt your energy drop for no clear reason? They smiled. They spoke softly. They even sounded supportive. But something felt off. That feeling matters more than most people realize. Not every threat comes with anger. Not every enemy shows open hate. Some people clap for you with cold hands. Some agree with you while quietly hoping you fail. Some stand close only to study your weak spots. And if you do not learn to see it early, their envy, false praise, and hidden resentment can slowly damage your peace, your focus, and your future. In this video, we are going deep into the small signals people miss every day, the kind that look harmless at first, but reveal a dangerous pattern over time. Stay with me because one of these signs may explain a relationship that has been draining you for years. And by the end, you will know how to protect your mind, keep your power, and move through life with calm eyes and stronger boundaries. There are people who agree with everything you say, and at first it feels good. It feels smooth, easy, safe. They nod too fast. They praise too much. They mirror your thoughts before they have even had time to think for themselves. But real honesty does not always sound pleasant. Real people do not always match you word for word. When someone constantly tells you that you are right, constantly flatters your choices, and constantly acts like they have no view of their own, be careful. Too much agreement can be a mask. It can be a shortcut into your trust. A false person often learns your likes, your dislikes, your fears, and your hopes, then reflects them back to you like a polished mirror. Not because they respect you, but because they want access. Watch what happens when you say something unpopular. Watch how they react when you make a choice they do not expect. Watch whether their actions still match their sweet words when there is nothing to gain. This is where the truth starts to show. A genuine person may disagree and still respect you. A deceptive person will often perform loyalty before revealing self-interest. Pay attention to that difference. It is small in the beginning, but over time it becomes impossible to ignore. And this is where many people get trapped, because they trust the tone and ignore the pattern. Do not make that mistake. Keep watching, because the next sign hides behind smiles and polite silence. One of the clearest tests of a person is not how they act when you are struggling, but how they act when you begin to rise. Success reveals what comfort can hide. When good things happen to you, watch the room carefully. Some people will light up with real joy. Their support feels warm, clean, natural. But others change in ways that are easy to miss unless you are fully awake. Their smile becomes tight. Their praise sounds forced. They quickly change the subject. They mention someone doing better than you. They remind you of your past mistakes right when you are finally moving forward. They ask questions that sound innocent but are designed to reduce the moment. Was it really that hard? Did you just get lucky? Let's see if it lasts. These are not always random comments. Sometimes they are the language of envy trying to stay hidden. Envy rarely announces itself in a loud voice. It often slips out through small dismissals, low energy, delayed support, or a strange coldness during your best moments. Do not panic when you see this. Do not become bitter. Just observe, calmly. The more peaceful you are, the more clearly you can read people. Your growth will always expose what others truly feel. That is not a curse. It is information, and information protects you. If this is hitting close to home, stay with me, because the next part is where your real defense begins, and it has nothing to do with controlling them. You cannot stop people from feeling envy. You cannot force truth into someone who loves masks. But you can become the kind of person who is no longer easily shaken by either one. Your strongest shield is your own character. When the world around you feels fake, become more real. When people play games, become more grounded. When others move with jealousy, move with discipline. This does not mean becoming cold or hard. It means becoming steady. Humility keeps you from needing praise. Honesty keeps your mind clear. Kindness keeps resentment from poisoning you. And self-respect keeps you from begging to be understood by people who secretly enjoy misunderstanding you. This is powerful because false people often feed on reaction. They want your anger. They want your confusion. They want you to over-explain, defend yourself, and lose your center. Do not give them that gift. The calmer you are, the weaker their tactics become. The cleaner your behavior, the more visible their behavior becomes. Your integrity acts like a light in a dark room. It reveals things without effort. It exposes contradictions. It makes hidden motives uncomfortable. And that is why strong inner values are not just moral ideas. They are practical protection. They save time. They save energy. They help you leave the wrong people faster and trust the right people more wisely. But even strong character needs one more partner to work well, and that partner is time. Trust should grow slowly, but many people hand it over in a rush. A charming voice, a quick bond, a dramatic story, a flood of praise, and suddenly someone feels close before they have earned closeness. This is where many painful lessons begin. Time is what reveals what performance tries to hide. Anyone can act well for a day. Some can act well for a month. But very few can keep up a false image for long without cracks forming. So stop letting intensity fool you into believing depth. Stop confusing fast comfort with real loyalty. Watch how someone behaves over time. Watch how they treat people they do not need. Watch if their story changes depending on who is listening. Watch if their promises remain strong when there is no reward waiting. False intentions are often impatient. They want access now, trust now, secrets now, favors now. They rush emotional closeness because they know time is not on their side. Real people are different. They do not need to force connection. They are consistent. Their energy stays steady. Their respect does not disappear when you say no. Their support does not vanish when life stops benefiting them. So let time do its work. Let patterns repeat. Let life test people for you. You do not need to accuse. You do not need to investigate every little thing. Just slow down. That alone will protect you from many forms of hidden harm. And now we come to another sign that says more than long speeches ever could, the way someone handles being wrong. People reveal themselves most clearly when things go badly. A person with honesty can admit a mistake, even if it stings. A person with falsehood often does something else. They shift blame. They make excuses. They twist the story. They turn themselves into the victim even when they cause the damage. They say you misunderstood. They say the timing was bad. They say everyone else is unfair. They point everywhere except inward. This matters because accountability is one of the strongest signs of real character. If someone can never say, "I was wrong," then they will almost always be dangerous to trust deeply. Why? Because without accountability, there can be no real correction, no real growth, and no real safety around them. The same mistake will happen again, only next time it may cost you more. So listen carefully when problems appear. Does the person reflect or do they perform? Do they repair or do they defend? Do they take ownership or do they disappear behind reasons and explanations? Logic is your friend here. Do not get lost in emotional stories. Look at behavior. Look at outcomes. Look at repeated patterns. Words can be polished. Excuses can sound intelligent. But the truth is usually simple. A person who refuses responsibility will eventually make others carry the weight of their choices. Do not volunteer for that burden. And keep watching, because some of the most harmful people are not loud, aggressive, or obvious. They are subtle. They work through quiet damage. Sometimes danger does not come through direct attack. It comes through little cuts, a sarcastic comment disguised as humor, support that disappears when you need it most, private jealousy hidden behind public politeness, a habit of sharing your vulnerable moments with others, a strange pleasure in watching you doubt yourself. These things may look small one by one, but together they create a pattern that slowly weakens your confidence. This is why self-awareness matters so much. You have to notice how certain people leave you feeling. Do you feel calm after being with them, or mentally cloudy? Do you feel respected or quietly reduced? Do you feel free, or like you are always managing their mood, their ego, their reactions? Your body often notices what your mind tries to explain away. That tension in your chest, that heavy feeling after simple conversations, that instinct telling you something is off, do not ignore it. It does not mean you should become paranoid. It means you should become present. Careful, clear, because the people who envy you or hide behind false behavior often count on one thing, your willingness to doubt your own perception. They want you to explain away every red flag until the pattern becomes normal. Do not normalize what drains you. Do not romanticize confusion. The peace you lose around the wrong people is not a small price. It is too expensive. And the next truth may be the hardest one of all, because sometimes the answer is not fixing the relationship. Sometimes the answer is distance. Not every connection deserves endless effort. This is a lesson many people resist because they want to be fair, kind, and patient. And yes, patience matters. Compassion matters. But boundaries matter too. You are not required to keep giving access to people who repeatedly bring chaos, dishonesty, or hidden hostility into your life. Distance is not hatred. Silence is not weakness. Walking away is not cruelty. Sometimes it is wisdom. Sometimes it is the only way to keep your inner world from being shaped by the wrong hands. If someone repeatedly shows envy, false support, blame shifting, or emotional manipulation, believe the pattern. Stop waiting for one perfect sentence that explains everything. Stop hoping that clarity will arrive in dramatic form. Most of the time, truth arrives quietly through repetition. The same discomfort, the same betrayal, the same excuse, the same hidden sting behind friendly words. Once you see the pattern, your job is not to fight it. Your job is to respond well. Reduce access, share less, stay polite if needed, but become less available to confusion. Protect your plans, protect your energy, protect your progress. Some people do not need a confrontation. They need a boundary, and that boundary may be the very thing that gives you your peace back. But there is still something important to understand, because guarding yourself is not just about avoiding the wrong people. It is also about becoming harder to shake. A strong mind is not built by trying to control what others think. It is built by mastering your response to what they reveal. When you stop chasing approval, flattery loses its power. When you stop explaining yourself to everyone, false judgment becomes lighter. When you stop needing every relationship to work, you become free. This kind of strength changes everything. You begin to move with less noise inside. You celebrate your wins without needing the room to clap. You notice strange energy early and do not take it personally. You stop trying to convince envious people to be sincere. You stop mistaking attention for loyalty. And slowly your life becomes cleaner, more focused, more peaceful. This is not because the world has changed. It is because your vision has changed. You are no longer drawn in by every smile. You are no longer disturbed by every hidden opinion. You understand that people act from their own inner battles, and many of those battles have nothing to do with you. That understanding protects your heart from becoming bitter. It lets you stay kind without becoming naive. It lets you remain open without becoming exposed. And that balance is rare, very rare. If you can build it, you will save yourself from a great deal of unnecessary pain. We are almost at the end, but this last part ties everything together, so stay with me. The truth is simple, even if living it is not. Some people are not what they first appear to be. Some will praise you and resent you at the same time. Some will stand near your light while quietly hoping it fades. Some will speak sweetly but act in ways that slowly disturb your peace. Your job is not to fear this. Your job is to see it clearly. Notice the person who agrees too quickly. Notice the one who goes cold when you succeed. Notice the one who rushes trust before earning it. Notice the one who always has an excuse and never a lesson. Notice the small cuts, the hidden tension, the strange feeling that something is never fully honest. Then return to what keeps you strong. Patience, self-respect, honesty, calm observation, and the courage to create distance when needed. The more rooted you are in your values, the less power false people have over your life. The more disciplined your mind becomes, the faster you recognize what does not belong near you. Protecting your peace is not selfish, it is necessary. And building real, honest connections starts with refusing to ignore what your eyes, your mind, and your instincts have already been trying to show you. If this message spoke to something you have felt but could never name, hold on to it. Think on it, use it. Because seeing clearly is the beginning of living wisely, and once you truly see, you cannot be trapped the same way again.